His ancient ancestors traveled beyond the ice wall, and what they encountered throughout their travels will absolutely blow your mind. What if I told you a secret has been buried for over 2,000 years, hidden by Polynesian elders themselves? A secret so terrifying, it made some of the greatest explorers the world has ever known never set sail again. A gentleman named Charlie Griffin on TikTok received an encrypted email from someone claiming to be a direct descendant of those who dared to go beyond the ice wall. What he was told will shake you to your core. Polynesian navigators mapped the Pacific thousands of years ago, but suddenly they stopped. History calls it the long pause. But why would the most advanced seafarers in history abandon the very thing that defined them? According to a descendant who just contacted Charlie directly, says the answers lie beyond the ice wall, at a place referred to as the Serpent's Gate. And what his ancestors faced there may explain why they never spoke of it again. What's up, folks? Just reminding you that my content is for entertainment purposes only and may or may not be true. I just provide the information and let you all decide what you believe. Do me a solid, like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I post. Stay strange, stay curious, and enjoy the show. This is one of the first groups of people who traveled beyond the ice wall, the ancient Polynesian tribe. This gentleman's name is Justin. This is all the information that he gave Charlie in an encrypted email. I am a descendant of the great Polynesian explorers. My ancestors navigated the Polynesian Triangle until the long pause, where my people stopped exploration of the seas for over 2,000 years. The reason why my people ceased their voyages across the Pacific is a closely guarded secret. Only a select few Polynesian elders are trusted with keeping it. When my father, who was one of the elders, died, the other elders told me the mystery behind the great pause. The elder told me that our people had sailed beyond the ice wall, specifically to the Serpent's Gate. The intense desire for my people to explore had sent them to a great peril. They endured many hardships during the voyage, and the monsters that guarded the Serpent's Gate were adamant not to let my people through. Many of them died, but the strongest of Polynesian sailors made it. They traveled up to what is now known as Xenonesia, but my people call it Ainga Ole Uleloa, or the Land of the Lost. It was here that they made a temporary outpost to lick their wounds from a long, perilous journey at sea. Living on Xenonesia was hard, as the land was unforgiving. The sky, pitch black, what my people called Lemata Otia Tele, or sad rain. After years of attempting to settle and failing, the majority of his people decided to brave the seas and leave the island behind. But a small group of determined settlers stayed behind. They believed they had figured out a way to mitigate the sad rain. And for all we know, their descendants could remain there to this day. The group that left ventured back home, but were ravaged by storms and other monsters, specifically one they called the Great Horror, also known as Te Mata Otia Telei. After researching and comparing accounts of the elders, I do believe it is Rokotumo Ere. The elders told me that the monster would stalk the people returning home, grabbing them by their tentacles and pulling them down to the depths of the sea. Even if they managed to fend off some of the tentacles, if a single one grabbed them, it was over. They were as good as gone. Their memories and, in severe cases, their motor skills would be severely limited. They were poisoned for life. After a while of hardships, they finally returned home almost 18 years later, after they made it past the ice wall. Immediately, they spread their tales of adventure and the horrors that lie beneath the sea. Polynesians vowed to never explore the oceans again for fear of what would hunt them. For 2,000 years, the widespread tale of what happened slowly faded into a well-kept secret, told only by the most trusted elders. I have shared with you the secret of the Polynesian long pause, and I hope that you are the right person to share it with. I wish you luck in your campaign to find the truth. Absolutely amazing tale. The fact that he ran into a tentacle-like sea monster, that reminds me of something like possibly the Cthulhu, or even a Leviathan-like sea creature. It sounds like he ran into multiple sea creatures, probably from sea dragons to, it sounds like, a massive octopus, but with more than 8 tentacles. It sounded like something you'd see in Pirates of the Caribbean or legends like the Cthulhu. could it be? It makes you wonder. You can't help but wonder. And it's unusual that it protects that actual gate known as the Serpent's Gate. I found it crazy that there were still some of the people left there, and maybe they did figure out the rain, maybe they didn't, but they could literally still have entire tribes on these islands. I believe they're right here next to Asgard, I'm thinking, right in that area, in these small outcrop of islands located there. That's kind of my guess, but that story just absolutely blew my mind, and I always love hearing content that validates or pertains to the situation of Beyond the Ice Wall. These accounts just can't be made up, right? I mean, I know AI and all this stuff, but that sounds legit to me. I don't think he's bluffing. I think Charlie Griffin is telling the truth. He's passionate about what he does about the ice wall, so take it for what you will, but that's the story. I hope you liked it. All right, y'all. So what I'm going to talk about next is something that I literally just stumbled upon on TikTok. This gentleman goes by the name Citra. He actually started posting last year around November, at least regularly. He's already grown to 1.9 million followers. The reason for that is he claims he's trying to build an animatronic. An animatronic, or a robot that he likes to call Nosy. It's like a hybrid human rabbit robot. I'm going to show you here in a sec, but it's not necessarily the robot that is alarming. It's what it's going to be able to do. He says that this robot is going to be able to run 32 miles per hour. Mind you, at 10 foot 4 inches tall, it's going to be able to run that fast. It's also going to be bulletproof, waterproof, fireproof, pretty much whatever proof you can think of. He also is going to make it so it can kneel and get to the level of looking through windows. While it's kneeling, it's going to be able to recharge, so be self-sufficient. I don't know if he's going for some Five Nights at Freddy's type thing with this thing, but it's definitely weird and it's definitely unique. It's actually really pretty good engineering. It's really cool. He makes it this narrative of almost like a Jeepers Creepers vibe surrounding it. Like just, like a Five Nights at Freddy's vibe. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting to say the least. Very odd. But the kid is obviously next level intelligent. He's only going to be able to do this when he's home from school. But check out a few of his videos and I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments because it's different, but it's definitely fascinating. Next, we're going to talk about an amazing story that once again proves tales in the Bible may have been true after all. And that's the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, as they think they possibly have recently found a pillar of salt that was Lot's wife near the Dead Sea. Some stories in the Bible sound so strange, so terrifying, that most people assume they're just myth. But what if I told you that deep in the desert, near the shores of the Dead Sea, there are ruins, ash, and strange salt pillars that match one of the most infamous tales ever told? We're diving into the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah and the chilling fate of Lot's wife. According to the book of Genesis, there were once two cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. They were thriving settlements in the fertile Jordan Valley, near what we now call the Dead Sea. People there, they had a reputation. The Bible describes them as corrupt, violent, and full of wickedness. When travelers came to the city, instead of offering hospitality, which was sacred in ancient culture, the people of Sodom were cruel and abusive. Their sins became so infamous that according to scripture, God himself sent two angels to investigate. But the story doesn't start with Lot fleeing the city. It actually begins with his uncle, Abraham, the patriarch. According to Genesis 18, God revealed to Abraham that he was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of their wickedness. But Abraham knew that his nephew Lot lived there with his family, so he did something few would dare. He tried to negotiate with God himself.
Will you then sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city?
I will not destroy it for the sake of the 50.
Will you really sweep away the righteous with the wicked? He pleaded. What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you spare it for their sake? God agreed. If 50 righteous could be found, the cities would be spared. But Abraham pressed further. What about 45, 40, 30, 20? What if there are just 10 righteous people? And God said, for the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. But when the angels arrived, they found only Lot and his household who showed hospitality and righteousness. Not even 10 could be counted. So the destruction was sealed. Lot and his family were given the chance to escape right before fire rained down. So Lot, his wife, and their daughters fled into the early morning darkness. But there was one condition. Whatever you do, don't look back. But as fire rained down from the sky, destroying everything they knew, Lot's wife hesitated. She turned her head, looking back at the burning city, and instantly she was transformed. The Bible says she became a pillar of salt, frozen forever as a monument of disobedience and grief. But here's where it gets strange, because near the Dead Sea today, there really are towering salt formations. One in particular that they think could be Lot's wife. And around this same region, archaeologists have uncovered ruins of ancient cities, places like in Numeria, that appear to have been destroyed by sudden intense fire. Some researchers suggest sites were wiped out by an earthquake that released bitumen and flammable gases, igniting a catastrophic blaze. Others claim evidence of sulfur balls. What's even more crazy about the Pillar of Salt is that an independent lab in Jerusalem took a sample and tested it. They found traces of carbon, actual pieces of clothing and fabric that has no business being in that type of rock. It all started a few years back when a university-led archaeological team started studying the site of Mount Sodom. They had reason to believe that it was possible that that was the location of the city of Sodom. And as they dug deeper, they started finding layers of what looked like burnt sediment from an explosion that had to have happened in the blink of an eye, literally decimating everything in its wake. But as they were studying the area, they noticed a pillar of salt on the southeast corner of the Dead Sea. And as they got closer to it and flew drones near it, they realized it somewhat resembled a mourning woman. But they couldn't jump to any conclusions, so they started the process of taking samples and digging into the pillar of salt to see what they could find. And it wasn't long before each of them were starting to whisper, "This is Lot's wife." Within the pillar of salt were fragments of clothing, an organic material that only a living being could produce. Then, an old manuscript surfaced in the archives in Italy, describing a lone figure seen on a ridge near the destroyed city, a statue of salt in the shape of a mourning woman. No one took it seriously until the team realized the coordinates matched the location of the formation they were now excavating, and the formation had changed only very little, so they assumed it had survived for centuries as it was. Up to this point, nobody had studied it so intensely. It had always been just categorized as other salt people, similar to ones found in the mountain. And as they dug deeper, they found cavities of organic and carbonated material that could only be produced by something that was once alive. Embedded in the salt near the torso was mineralized fabric, in between layers of crystalline structure. Within days, headlines exploded across the world. They found Lot's wife. The stories of Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible were true. This, coupled with radiocarbon dating, putting the sediment at just under 3,700 years old, the exact same timeline in the Bible as the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Then an independent lab in Jerusalem found collagen in one of the samples that can only be produced by living organic material. In the end, this begs the question, are more stories in the Bible true than we ever realized? Could there be much more significance historically within the Bible and its stories than we ever believed? Pure brimstone has been found embedded in the ground near these ruins. So was this just a natural disaster that became the legend of Sodom and Gomorrah, or was it something more? For thousands of years, the tale of Lot's wife has been a symbol, a warning of what happens when you cling to the past, when you look back instead of moving forward. But it's also more than that, because to this day, we can visit the Dead Sea, we can see the strange salt pillars, and we can walk the ruins of the cities that seem to have been erased in the fire overnight. Stories like this remind us that behind every legend, there may be a truth waiting to be discovered. If Sodom and Gomorrah really did fall in fire, and Lot's wife truly stands frozen in salt, what else from these ancient texts is still out there, waiting to be found? And as always, stay odd and mysterious. Y'all, people are saying Trump could be a time traveler. And I'm not going to lie, there's kind of a lot of evidence out there that may support this theory. Hear me out. It all started when Nikola Tesla died in 1943 in New York City. The FBI immediately seized his belongings, fearing that his inventions, some thought to be death rays or advanced energy devices, could be of national security importance. Tesla's papers were reviewed by a team of scientists working with the government. One of those scientists happened to be John G. Trump, an MIT electrical engineer and inventor, also Donald Trump's uncle. John Trump concluded that Tesla's work did not include practical or usable weapons, though conspiracy theorists claim he may have found far more, potentially notes on free energy, wireless power, or even time manipulation. This is the seed of the Trump time traveler theory, that the Trump family may have had access to hidden Tesla technology. That, along with the books of Ingersoll Lockwood written in the late 1800s, are why theorists think that Trump could possibly be a time traveler. Ingersoll Lockwood was an American lawyer and writer in the 1800s. He wrote several odd novels that people now connect to the Trumps, the first one being The Last President, written in 1896. In this dystopian political novel, it imagines the election of a populist outsider president from New York City. During the story, his victory leads to riots and chaos in the streets, especially near Fifth Avenue, coincidentally where Trump Tower stands today. The parallels to Trump's election in 2016, seen as an anti-establishment win that divided the nation, have fueled theories that Lockwood predicted his presidency. But one of the most talked about lines from the book is where Lockwood mentions a character, the man named Elon, who would lead humanity in conquering space, specifically Mars. Given that over a century later, Elon Musk has openly declared his mission to colonize Mars, conspiracy theorists see this as another eerie synchronicity tying Lockwood's books to modern times. And lastly, the book Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Written in 1893, this children's fantasy novel follows a boy named Baron Trump who discovers secret portals to other worlds. He's guided by a mentor who's his dog named Don. In the book, Baron journeys into Inner Earth, a recurring theme in Hollow Earth and Hidden World myths. Conspiracy theorists point to the uncanny coincidence of Donald Trump having a son named Baron. I mean, really, you can't make this stuff up, folks. What are the chances of this? Ingersoll Lockwood writing these books, son named Baron, Last President, Fifth Avenue. I mean, I'm starting to think maybe John Trump did find something when he cleaned out Tesla's apartments. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Just curious, do you think Donald Trump could actually be a time traveler? All right, y'all, so this next story I want to share with you is a story going viral on TikTok. It comes from Atlanta rapper Lil Tony. He's an up-and-coming rapper over the last couple years who started to gain traction. He was actually about to blow up, but at the last moment, he decided he was tired of rapping drill, negative, hateful rap and went to Christian rap. And the reason he did this is because of an event where he was at a photo shoot with a couple of gentlemen at the top of a mountain. Well, these gentlemen had nice cars, Lambos, McLarens, you name it, and they were only about his age, which is early 20s. So he was curious as to how they got their money. Well, when he asked, the answer he got, he couldn't believe at first. Take a listen to his story and let me know what y'all think.
Devil?
Yeah,
I didn't even know about that. Can you like,
they booked me for a photo shoot. This is what made me start getting into God right before I got locked up again.
Yeah.
This is how I knew God was talking to me though. I was straddling the fence still on belief. This is what I was telling you. I didn't know what to believe because I was getting into all the spirituality. I ain't know what to believe. And God sent me a real encounter. So I went up. I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They have OD cars. They got a 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. And I'm asking them, like, how y'all get all this money? How y'all do this? They like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. Like, no, you don't, bro. I'm like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic ritual? He say, the Illuminati never talk to you. I'm laughing. I'm still laughing at him. Like, bro, you playing a game. Like, why y'all playing with me? Stop playing. Like, how y'all getting this money? He like, bro, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? He was like, he giving me a list of people who all did it. I'm gonna keep it PG-13. He was basically saying, either you let them peg you or you do oral and you'll get whatever you want. Tell them what you want If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you gotta let them do is just do what they want to do to you, just for a night. Basically do some gay. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, hell no, you playing the game.
What's messed up is I actually watched another video of him telling the story where he states that after this encounter, you get an STD, a very bad one that starts with an A. You get sick, then they heal you, and you come back. And that's when you get rich. But you have to go through being sick. Crazy stuff. I don't know.
Playing. So I'm still not trying to believe this. And he like, this when they get to laughing, they like, oh, we need to take him to the booty club. Stop playing with me, bro. He like, bro, I can make it happen. Now, while they doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though. So I don't got no service. So I'm like, all right, I see which one needs to work on me. They take off. The people who booked me, they take off. Like I tell them, I'm like, all right, y'all can take me to y'all Korean barbecue. I'm telling them this. Cause they was telling me, they was like, when I start calling my Uber, my flight was finna take off. They was like, man, your flight finna take off anyway. Let us just get you a hotel and you can come get some food at our Korean barbecue. I'm like, at first I was like, nah. But then I ain't had no service to get downstairs. Get down the hill.
Right.
So I'm telling them, take me down to the bottom of the mountain. When I'm not telling them this, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna let them take me to the Korean barbecue. Then when we get down there, I'm gonna just call me an Uber and go. So I tell them, like, take me down to the Korean barbecue. They're like, okay, Shmoo, good. Okay, boom. The people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me or take pictures, because he come up and he like to take pictures with celebrities to make him look like he was rich or famous. I get in the car with him in the 3-seater McLaren. This man, as we going down, see, on the way up, we go all the way up, like in a swivel, like all the way around the mountain.
Yeah.
On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. So I'm like, what the hell? So then that's what I try. I'm like, okay. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's, gang. I want to go get some McDonald's. He said, we not going to take you to get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. This face change, gang. In front of me. You see Venom? Like,
yeah. Like
Spider-Man?
Yeah, from Spider-Man.
Kind of like that. It wasn't like OD, like long, like veins, OD long out his face. It was probably about this wide. His face changed. I'm like, what the? Like, it's probably about like right here. Like, all I can say, bro, it was like, kind of like the Sandman. Like how you'll see somebody morph into something.
Yeah.
It's like that. It threw me all the way off. So I'm confused now. I'm like, okay. I didn't know how to get out of the car. I would have been got out of the car. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you got to push to get up out of there.
Gotcha.
So he back it in. Now he back it into somebody driveway. He smack up mailbox. So now he hit the button and he get up out of there. He hit the button and get up out of there. I see the button. I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I run up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, let me get in the back of your truck. He looking at me like, yeah, no. I look at him. I'm like, bro, just let me get in the back of your truck, bro. Please, just take me down. Take me down to the bottom. Please, just take me down to the bottom. It was God. He took me down to the bottom. Like, if I were him, I wouldn't have took me down to the bottom. Some random trying to get in the back of my truck. Hell no. He took me down to the bottom, and I called an Uber, and I just left. The whole thing was just, I felt it in my spirit. As soon as I got up to the top of that mountain, it was something off.
Something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never seen no motion like that. Like, where I'm from, like, 100,000, that's smooth. Like, we hunt, that's hood rich. You get you 100,000, you up 100,000, get you a nice car, a little spot, you good. But these folk having real money.
So you knew, like, based on their stats, that there was something wrong.
It wasn't even that. It was the fact of how, when I got up there, first of all, that whole mountain just felt funny. Then, when it was time for me to go, it started kicking in. When I was trying to get my Uber, and I seen that they had me at the top of the mountain, no service, no nothing. And they came up here. Out of everybody, they came up to the one spot. I'm like, man, hell no.
You knew something was off.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you even then, like, you knew from that moment, like, man, I can't be doing that. Even before you were fully submitted to Christ. And now looking back on it, it's crazy how, like, the devil will overplay his hand And then you like literally, this guy's like, we do demonic rituals and it's like normal. And you're like, what? That's crazy. And now you're serving the Lord and you're just like, dude, these guys, I think there's a big encouragement there just to let like.
So according to what I've been seeing on TikTok, it started a beef with these two gentlemen that he called out. I'm going to show you a couple videos of them, and they're basically saying, it's on that he's lying, that he's actually into Diddy stuff, and he's doing Diddy type activities. This guy, Lil Tony, this is what they're retaliating and saying against him. I don't believe them. I believe more on Lil Tony's story than theirs. But yeah, they're getting all like huffy and puffy about it and defensive, which makes me think there's definitely some sort of validity to his story. All right, so the following two videos are actual videos of his encounter with these two gentlemen. You can see they're pressing him, they're kind of messing with him, and then he gets his phone and wants to go live, but they had his phone, and for some reason he couldn't go live. He could not go live, and it was starting to scare him. Check it out.
Please. Duh, nigga. What the hell? Oh, we locked in. That shit can't be real. That's real, bro. That nigga serious? That nigga serious? Yeah, that's how we move over here. Hey, gang. Y'all niggas see. Hey, listen. Every time I pop out LA, I'm gonna be with my bro, right? And I'm gonna pop out with that geek shit, that dog shit on me. So I ain't had no dog shit on me because I'm not staying this time. You know what I'm saying? I would have popped out that dog. I gotta go live. Yeah. You show this shit hard. What's up with my phone, bro? I'm over here in Cali. You got the Aston Martin DBX. Yes. The DBX Aston Martin SUV. Thank you. Also, see y'all. Next time, let's plan something so I can like get the
Crazy stuff, right? I think this happens to a lot more people than you know. I think a lot of them end up taking the bait and they end up going to the dark side just for that money. Gotta say for Lil Tony, he stood strong. He's now a Christian rapper and he's still successful. So he's doing his thing. He has 1.1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And maybe he won't go as big as, 21 Savage or them guys. Anybody in that tier. He probably won't go mainstream, but hey, at least he's got his soul. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I put a lot of work into it. Hope you can see that my production value is going up. And stay tuned because I will probably be going live later this week. I'm going to try and be more consistent with the times. Definitely worked out the kinks on the sound and everything, so this live should be a lot better than the last. All right, y'all. Hope you had a good day. Stay in the love, stay in the light, be kind to others. Out.